My first price target for Manta in 2025 is Manta at the price of $10. And of course, not financial advice and not a guarantee. But why is that? It's because I think that Manta is that special. After all, the Manta network actually consists of two networks. The first being something called Manta Pacific. Now, this is the modular layer 2 ecosystem on Ethereum for Ethereum Virtual Machine native ZK applications. Now, ZK stands for zero knowledge. But besides that point, when I say this, some people out there, they may be thinking, whoa, that's very complicated. What is that all about? I'm going to break this down, and I think it's going to seem very simple in the end. Now, you've of course caught the fact that I did mention that it's a layer 2. Now, the benefit of something like this is that, for instance, it does allow Ethereum to be enjoyed while at the same time not having to deal with a lot of the nonsense, like, for instance, the sky-high gas fees and the arguable scalability issues. So that's amazing. Also, on top of that, when I mention ZK, aka zero knowledge, the benefit of something like this is that, for instance, it enhances scalability and as well as increasing privacy as well. So if you think about it again, right, Manta Pacific, it's very fantastic. How can I go wrong with this? Now, not financial advice, but there's also a second part to the Manta network, and that's Manta Atlantic, which, by the way, it's been stated that it's allegedly the fastest ZK, again, zero knowledge, layer 1 chain on Polkadot. I mean, this is very incredible. And let's not forget, right, on the Manta network, there's currently a total value lock of over $500 million, and there's even over 200 projects as well. So in terms of its established nature, man, it's very amazing. It's doing very well in my opinion. And also on top of that, on the Manta ecosystem, there are many projects related to DeFi, gaming, and the metaverse. And I think this could be so huge for the future of Manta because you take a look at, first of all, the metaverse. According to McKinsey, by 2030, they predict could very well reach up to $5 trillion in value. So that's insane. Also on top of that, DeFi, according to Grandview Research, its market size expected to be worth over $200 billion, yet again, by 2030. Now, there's also another prediction by 2030, according to Grandview Research, and that's the blockchain gaming market, which they predict is going to be worth over $300 billion by then. I mean, this is insane, in a good way, of course. So I think as these markets continue to grow moving forward, I think it's going to benefit greatly the projects that do exist on the Manta network. And that right there, of course, I think is going to be great for Manta overall. So really, any way I view it, I think Manta is that fantastic. And let's not forget, there's also even something called the Calamari network. And no, I'm not talking about the food calamari. I'm talking about, again, the Calamari network here, which is quite essentially the Manta network's canary network. Now, you may be wondering, okay, what do you mean by this, man? A canary network? What is this all about? Now, here's the thing. A great example of a canary network is something like Moonriver, which is a canary network to Moonbeam. Now, what this means is that new code will usually ship over to Moonriver first, and then after it's been tested and verified under real economic conditions, it will then be usually shipped over to Moonbeam. However, if let's say a project doesn't want to move on to Moonbeam later on, it doesn't necessarily have to. But again, quite essentially, a canary network does provide somewhat of a testing ground. You take a look at how Kusama, it's also a canary network to Polkadot. And again, as we all know, Manta Atlantic is allegedly, again, the fastest ZK layer 1 chain on Polkadot. So yeah, you get the connection there. However, personally speaking, I'm a lot more focused on the Manta network, not on the Calamari network. But I just wanted to mention that overall because I just wanted to showcase how special things are when it comes to Manta. And again, what I love about Manta is that, it kind of has an ocean theme. Manta, of course, reminds me of a manta ray. You take a look at the Calamari network, Manta Atlantic, Manta Pacific. I think you get the whole vibe here. But again, when I consider just how special it is, $10 for Manta wouldn't surprise me whatsoever because I think it's that fantastic. And my next price target for Manta is Manta at the price of $15, which I don't think is insane because if let's say it were to go to that price, considering its current circulating supply, market cap would be around $5.6 billion. This isn't crazy at all. I mean, for instance, we've seen SHIB reach around 40 billion market cap in the past. We've seen Doge reach over 80 billion. This isn't crazy in my opinion. This is kind of like peanuts in the grand scheme of things, especially for something as amazing as the Manta network. Come on, man. I don't think it's crazy at all. $15 wouldn't surprise me. And now my next and final price target is Manta at the price of $20, which I get it. Some people out there, they may think $15 is crazy, let alone 20. I mean, come on. But here's the thing. I think this bull run could be that legendary. There is currently over 500 million crypto owners, which is more than ever before in history, according to Crypto.com research, nearly double the amount when compared to the peak of the 2021 bull run. So just imagine that. If 2021, already looked that amazing with that many less crypto owners, this time around could be even more insane, and in a good way, of course. Also, on top of that, Bitcoin, depending on when you watch this, but at least at the time of this recording, isn't even at the price of $100,000 yet. So imagine once it crosses, let's say $100,000, let's say it goes to $150,000 and maybe even beyond. Could you imagine the altcoin season then? It's going to look legendary, and I can't wait. And also on top of that, when you combine the amazing fundamentals of the Manta network, Manta at the price of $20 wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And also on top of that, some people, they may be wondering, okay, how soon will this all happen? Now, usually altcoins, they typically peak anywhere between 6 to 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. If we consider how the Bitcoin halving event happened back in April, 6 months is October this year, 18 months October next year. But historically, these have been pretty extreme examples. So I'm going to use a middle ground approach, which is 12 months, a year. Now, a year after April is, of course, April of 2025. So that's why I titled this video 2025 price targets, because, again, I'm taking a middle ground approach. But even if, let's say, it's that long, I really don't mind, because if anything, that suits my strategy. I'm focused on accumulation over an extended period of time. I'm dollar cost averaging. So any time on income, I'm acquiring, I'm holding, and I'm just waiting. I'm not trying to day trade, not trying to use leverage, not trying to swing trade. When it comes to any cryptocurrency that I own, I like to keep things simple. Again, dollar cost averaging, it's king for me. And Manta at the price of $20 wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. I think it's that amazing, and I think it's that fantastic. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I greatly appreciate it. It's going to lead the captain. I'll catch you all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.